Hi, this is John Dunic at the Lewis Bay II Library in Hawthorne, New Jersey. It's July 15th, 2022, and this is my second library show that I'm doing, showing my work. There are 34 works here, and there were 34 works at the other show, but these are 34 different paintings. So, enjoy. This is Water Lilies. It's an original acrylic painting. I did this from a photograph I took, probably upstate New York. Everything I've shown you here today is available for sale at reasonable prices. Some of the frames are handmade, some of them aren't. Okay, we'll go to the next. This is Snowy Mountain Brook, and it's a print from an acrylic painting. I've been doing my own Christmas cards for about 10 years, and this is one of the ones that I did. It's all out of my head. I made the whole thing up. And yeah. That's a print. And, okay, go to the next. There are tables right in front of the artwork, so I'm sitting on them as I'm talking about these. This is a pencil drawing, a colored pencil drawing of my wife, Joni. It's a print of it, I believe. Yes, it is. But she fell asleep in my bed. So the best models are sleeping models. They don't move. Alrighty. My daughter Julie's doing the video. Julie, why don't you back up a little and show both these at the same time at first? Okay. So these are both original acrylic paintings. This is a little girl with a cat. I did that a long time ago. Actually, I was thinking of my daughter when I did that. We both love cats. And then years later, I always thought, why don't we make a mate for this picture? So I came up with a little boy, and he's walking a dog. Also acrylic painting. Two little angels. Alrighty, and here we have another religious theme. This is also original acrylic, and it's, anybody that's Christian would kind of know what this is. I call it Jesus of Mary Mag, short for Jesus of Mary Magdalene. It's Easter, when Jesus comes out of the tomb and Mary Magdalene greets him, and she's going to hug him, and he says, "Don't touch me yet, because I haven't gone to my Father." Alrighty. And here we have some rock and roll acrylic painting in an original frame, handmade frame. This I did from a fast drawing once upon a time, and I just painted it recently. It's of nobody in particular, but the guitar player kind of reminds me of Rory Gallagher way back when. And the keyboard player, well, that could be Stevie Wonder. Or, actually, I work with a guy right now that kind of looks like that everybody got a kick out of. Next. This is Every Boy Deserves a Favor. It's a print, and it's from a Moody Blues album cover called Every Good Boy Deserves a Favor. And it's a print of an acrylic painting. And now we have a print of acrylic painting, Birds and Fish. So I was looking at a few pictures for reference with this, one of birds and one of fish, and I put it together, doing like a cross section of the water and the sky. And now we're going to move on over to another wall. This is a print from an acrylic painting called Solace. It's called Solace because, don't mind the blinking light, that's something wrong with the light. There's like a hermit sitting here that lives in a cave. And yeah, that's awful. I made the whole thing up. I was trying to depict springtime when the leaves are just starting to turn. Okay, and then next we have two pictures again. You can take the ghosts are with us. These two I call Shimmering Lake 1 and 2. These are original, these are oil paints. Probably from some photographs I took upstate New York. And yeah, it's oil paint, and there's we got some texture going on in these. And they kind of match. And I can just go on to the other one. The fall scene, I love the fall. It's my favorite time of year with all the colors and everything. Okay, well now we're going to move on over to the other section. This is a big room, and they have a moving wall that they divided up when they have smaller meetings in it. And when I come here and it's closed, I always open it up again. This is Quartet. It's another oil painting. And this is from when I was at a jazz club late at night. I drew a picture, and I did a painting from it later. I think it was from a place called Far and Away. It used to be at Cliffside Park, New Jersey, but it's since closed. Okay, we'll go next to the next. This is an original pencil drawing, bust of a lady, I call it. And what it is, some old friends of mine were antique dealers, and they had a marble, or I don't know, kind of statue it was, of a lady like that. And I did a picture of it. Here we have statues. This is an acrylic painting. I got inspired for this by making a fire on the beach at night one time. We dug a hole, made the fire in it, and then as the sand heated up, it started coming down into the hole. And what I call it statues because I made the firewood kind of look like statues. Like this was a mini civilization that made these statues, and then they burnt them. And then I made a lady walking away holding a torch, like she's the one that started the fire, and she's kind of reminiscent of the Statue of Liberty lady. And here we have another Christian painting, Jesus walking on the water. This is acrylic, and a handmade frame from a piece of wood I found somewhere and put it together. I got all 12 apostles in the boat, but I think according to the Bible, they weren't all there at the time, but I put all 12 of them there anyway. Jesus said to Peter, come to me, and Peter started walking on the water, but then he lost his faith, and he started sinking. And he's crying out to Jesus, come help me. And Jesus came and helped him. And what did he say? You of little faith. And here we have a print of a oil painting on wood that I did. The original was, I do have the original too, if anybody's interested. It's a lot bigger than this print. And I did this, a friend of mine that lived in Oakland, she taught art classes at her house in a little shed next to the lake. And she had this still life set up. Did I mention that it's called Relics? And this was actually a real skull that the construction workers gave her when they were building a mall in Oakland, because they knew she was an artist and she'd enjoy having it. And the background and stuff, I put that in there. It wasn't really sitting on a table in front of a window like that. And here we have kind of an impressionistic picture. It's also a print of a man standing next to a well. I call it Run With Me. I was thinking of the Doors song, Run With Me, when I painted it. It's kind of a wild song. He's got the fire going on and the mansion on the hill. And here we have another fall scene. This is original, Autumn Path in acrylics. At first I didn't have the deer in it, and then I'm like, well, let's make it a little more interesting, have a deer standing there. This is a print from actually a big mural I did on a wall in somebody's house. I call it View for Two because it's two birds, two seagulls sitting on the beach there looking at this. Kind of has a Japanese flavor to it there. And this was the wall was actually, it was going into the living room, and there were two doorways on each side. And I guess this was the center section, so this was the biggest section of the painting. And I think since the house that was in was knocked down and they built a McMansion there. This is a pencil drawing, original, of Leonardo da Vinci. I guess it was yes, I believe it's a self-portrait of him. As always, an admirer of Leonardo da Vinci. My mother used to say, you're going to look like him when you get old. And this is also an original acrylic painting, lady playing a harp. And I got the idea for this from a picture in the newspaper of a lady playing a harp for some seniors somewhere. She didn't look like that or be wearing a dress like that. That I made up myself. And here we have the ruins at Ramapo Reservation. If you live in Jersey, you might know this spot when you go into Ramapo Reservation on 202 in North Jersey. It's one of the first things you see when you walk in there to your right. And I did it from a photograph. And if you do something realistic from a if you do a painting realistic from a photograph, it tends to look like a photograph again, which is what we have here. And here, I call this Devastation Arises. It's surrealistic, kind of a Salvador Dali flavor to it. It's watercolors, original. And it's like all of the evil of the world coming up out of the ground. Kind of like what we got going on now in Ukraine. I actually did two other pictures that kind of go with this. The first one is the desert, and you kind of just seeing this stuff coming up. And then the third one after this is just of this one dagger flying in the sky, like the evil's taking off and traveling around the world. And this is a print of another acrylic painting, surrealistic. Well, this is kind of the same idea, except it's the evil's coming out of the water instead of the desert. We got, you know, death, we got a cross burning, twin towers. I did this before the World Trade Center started burning down. A crow. And there's images in the sky too. The moon and the clouds kind of looks like an owl's head. And we got like a profile of another raven there and a snake, a bat. And I was thinking of the, who was the person that did these things? Harmonius Bosch, back in the 1400s, did strange things like this. This is acrylics on board. I call it Falls on the Coast. And I was influenced by Roger Dean, the artist that does the Yes Group covers when I did this. And it's kind of like, I think the man here is waiting for his bird to come back to him that he like flew around. I took pictures of this in 3 sections for prints too, because it's kind of like, it could be 3 pictures, you know, by themselves that look good. And here we have Swimming in the Stream. And I did this from a drawing I did on a camping trip. We were upstate New York somewhere. And there were 2 local girls. They were probably around 14, 15. And what they were doing was diving into the stream. I guess it was a deep part there. They dive in, then they had a rope tied to a root, and they climb up the rope up to the top of the rock and dive in again. And they were having a really nice time. What's this? Is this no. Okay. I call this one Ball on the Beach. I got my inspiration from this. We were on the beach one time and a storm came up out of nowhere. Then the sky got like black ink and everybody was like, everybody was rushing around to get out of it before it started raining. It was very windy and everything. They did have clothes on. I made everybody nude. And what I was thinking of here is that the people are actually spirits. If you look closely, they are transparent. So the only thing that's there in reality is the ball sitting there. And I have a little ghost girl over here, and she's making my name in the sand with a stick. Here I call this Sea Serpent. I guess it's a good name for it, and it's an oil painting. I guess you would call that an impression. So there's a sea serpent, there's a boat having a hard time in a storm, and there's a seagull flying around and some kind of sea creature over here on the bottom with kind of a crescent moon on top. Yeah, this wall's got the wild stuff on it. Well, wilder than my other things. I call this Mama Says Keep It Clean, and I did this from a drawing. This is a print, a lithograph or something, and I added the color with watercolors afterwards. And it's just, you know, crazy stuff that you could think of going into a dream or something. I guess this is Mom over here telling you to keep it clean. is the book of rules. And one of her legs is a shaving cream brush, and there's TV and a phone. Yeah, we got a bear trap and scissors and, oh yeah, it's a Swiss Army knife with all these things coming out of it. A clock. And a little lizard coming out of a hole. I guess I was thinking of the artist Etcher that did all those prints of lizards and things like that, interacting with each other. Another abstract, I call it saucers. Kind of looks like a saucer. Kind of goes with another painting that I had in the first video. That was called Ships and Sails, I believe. And this was a doodle that I did into a painting. Acrylic, original. And I'm also into, you know, ancient aliens, UFOs, and all that business. So I did this picture once upon a time. Alien visitors, I have, it's called. It's acrylics also, original. So the top of his shoulders and stuff is actually like another head of one of them. And he's there saying, hello. Telepathically, of course, you know, I don't think he'd be speaking. Okay, this is the last one. And what this is it's acrylics on a board, you know, paper board or whatever. And this I call Daughter of the Night, acrylics. So this is actually, it's actually a portrait of an old girlfriend of mine, and she was, you know, she liked the, I guess today you call it, you know, goth, right? Goth, Julie? People that are into the heavy metal and whatever. So there she is in front of a castle with flying devils around and whatnot, under a full moon. Okay, so that's about it. There were 34 more pictures here, different than the 34 pictures of the first video. And I plan to do another library show sometime in the near future of, I think I could scrape together 34 more pictures that haven't been in either one of the shows. That way, everybody can see the pictures framed on the walls, as opposed, if you just see them online by themselves, you don't really know how big they are or what kind of frame they're in. So that's it, and see you next time. Thank you very much.